Hey everyone, and welcome to the last part of me moving my printer and doing some much needed upgrades. 2 episodes ago, we replaced a busted Arduino Mega that's powering it, and then last episode, we went and hooked up this Raspberry Pi 2 that is now running Octoprint and becoming the brains of this whole operation. So last episode, we got this up and running. And in this episode, we're going to figure out how to power this thing. So I have gone and purchased a lovely UPS, a Uninterruptible Power Supply, with the idea being you plug everything important into here, and this is basically just a big battery. So in the case of a brownout or a blackout, it will the battery will turn on and hopefully will supply enough power to power my desktop and my printer, so that in the case of a blackout I'd be able to shut things down and maybe even finish a print if it was close to being finished. So we're going to take a closer look at this UPS and plug it all in and see if it works. So the UPS that I picked up is actually a pretty beefy UPS. This is the Cyber Power 1500 volt amp units. And hopefully that will be more than enough to power my computer and my 3D printer if a blackout occurs. This says up to 170 minutes of backup power. We'll see if that actually works. But it does have a nice status LED front panel, as well as capabilities to plug a USB cable, plug this into a computer, and seek diagnostics through that. So if we actually take a look at the unit, here it is next to it, and it's a really beefy unit. You know, you can tell that this thing is mostly just battery, which is really heavy. And on the back, we have 8 plugs, 4 of them being battery backups and surge protector, and then the other 4 just being a surge protector. It also has surge protectors for, Ethernet, modem, all kinds of different stuff. And we also have a USB plug-in here that we can plug into the computer and read some diagnostics. So you may be asking, what is the point of having the 4 non-battery backup, just normal surge protector plugs, when you can just buy a normal surge protector for $10 as opposed to $100? Well, another thing these battery backup units do, they provide, or most of them provide, automatic voltage regulation. So if we just take a look at the kind of manual here, we can see how they claim the automatic voltage regulation works. So if you have spikes in your input voltage, if your power in your house is not consistent, there may be some fluctuations in the voltage. The automatic voltage regulation will kind of smooth that out so you have consistent power. Usually that's not an issue in most modern homes. In older electronics or older houses, the electrical system may be a little inconsistent, and if you have really delicate hardware, that may be a problem. It may cause issues that look like normal hardware issues, but it's actually the power being supplied. If that's dirty power, it could be bad. So this is a way to kind of clean the incoming power so that it's not so that it's more consistent, which I think will be nice. So the current plan is to plug in my computer and my 3D printer along with one of my monitors, so that if there's a brownout, my computer I can still use my computer. And then also this one will fit the transformer that I use for cooling my printer. So I have all my fans on a dedicated DC kind of wall wart, so that'll fit here. And then my modem and stuff will be connected to the rest of the surge. So let's plug this in, let's get things up and running and see how it looks. So here we are with the battery backup all plugged in. I've got my printer and my computer all plugged into the back of it, and we can see here that there's a nice display that you can cycle through options to see, how full is the battery. It'll give you estimated run times and all of that kind of information. But what's also really cool about it is it will show you the load, both the load capacity and the load in kilowatts coming into this thing. So I figured, since we have this, I might as well see how much power all of my different components actually draw. I don't know how much my heat bed uses when it heats up, or my hot end, or any of that. So this will be cool to kind of give diagnostic information on how much power am I actually pulling through my 3D printer. So let's give that a try. So I'm just going to turn one thing on at a time, and we'll see what happens. First up, let's turn the heat bed on high. Heat bed should switch on. There's the click of the relay, and we are drawing 152 watts. So this is in kilowatts, so it's 0.153. So 152 watts for just the heat bed. That is quite a lot of energy, and it seems pretty steady. Pretty much as soon as the relay clicked, it's on full output. That's pretty cool to know. Okay, and with the bed off, see it drops directly down to 0. So let's see what my first hot end draws. So with one of the hot ends on, we have 27 watts. With both on, we have 45 watts. And for fun, let's turn on my main computer and see what that draws. It draws about 60 watts on startup. You remember that USB port that I pointed out earlier? Well, CyberPower has some software which will allow you to do some monitoring of your UPS as it's working. So you can see here that you can see pretty much anything that was on the front display, you can see using their software. So you can see the voltage that it's supplying, battery capacity, estimated run times, and also the load on the UPS. So now that I have this kind of information, I'm curious to see what my system draws when it's maxed out. So let's start up some benchmarks and see how much this computer actually pulls. Because I have a 600 watt power supply in here, and I wonder if this actually pulls 600 watts when it's all maxed out. So let's give it a try. And if we take a look here, I am stressing my system out to the max. I have Fairmark going, running a GPU stress test, and we can see that the GPU's peaked out at, basically 100% here. I'm also running Prime 95, which is stressing the CPU and memory. You can see the CPU usage is at 100% and the memory is at 50%. I am doing a full-on benchmark here, stressing the system out as much as I possibly can, and I'm still only loading 216 watts here. The power supply on my computer is rated for like 650, and that's what I thought I was pulling. But it's really interesting to see that this machine is only pulling 225 watts when fully stressed out. That's pretty interesting. So I think that shows that this UPS will be more than enough, more than capable to handle my computer as well as the 3D printer, because we saw that only drew about 200, 300 watts, depending on what all was on the 3D printer. So this UPS will be perfect for what I want to use it for. And in case you were wondering, this is the best feeling in the world. Yeah. Oh man, that feeling's the best. So now I feel a little better about having everything connected, because I am now protected from random brownouts, and hopefully won't lose a print just because the power fluctuated a little bit and we lost power for a couple of minutes. This should give me good protection on that kind of stuff, so I feel a little bit more comfortable here. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching me move my printer to a new spot and do some upgrades on it. And be sure to like the video if you liked the video, and subscribe for some more awesome stuff coming on the way. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for watching Hoffman Engineering.